Hello everybody, and in my last video I did a book review on Between Shades of Grey by Ruta Sepetys. Today I am here with another book review of one of her books, and this one is called Salt to the Sea. And I'm going to start with a little background about this book. So it is set in 1945 towards the end of World War II, and it comes from the 4 different unique perspectives of different characters. The perspectives come from Joanna, a Lithuanian nurse, Alfred, a German sailor, Amelia, a young Polish girl, and Florian, a East Prussian art thief. All 4 of their stories are interconnected by a common event, which is the Wilhelm Gustloff. The thing I definitely love most about this book is how much time and effort and heart she really put into this book. And I thought it was really amazing the amount of effort put into this book just to make it truly authentic. I actually got to learn about something that I previously didn't know about and that many others don't know about. I thought it was really cool learning about the Wilhelm Gustloff, which was a refugee ship that actually caused so many deaths. It had a lot more casualties than more notable events that most people might know about. And the fact that most people don't know about this, and it's sort of like a hidden secret of the war, just really made me really interested when I was reading it. It made me really appreciate all of the detail that was being put into making the book and really trying to retell the story of what happened to people who don't know about it. All the history and thorough research that was put into this book makes it a historical fiction book. I thought it was especially cool of her that she decided to put the unique perspectives of 4 different characters to see what it was like from different perspectives of the war and not just one specific character or 4 different characters from the same ethnicity or background. They all struggle with different things, with the guilt and the shame and all the other stuff that was put into the story. The things that happened with their family and all the things that they came with really impacted them and really impacted the story in different ways. I especially love that despite the main characters, Ruta was able to beautifully write the stories of a bunch of secondary characters too that you'll definitely fall in love with. I know I did fall in love with. There are secondary characters like the shoe poet and the blind girl and the wandering boy. They were honestly also amazing and they really touched the story in different ways. Some of them were really wise and provided a really lighthearted feeling in contrast to the really dark and gloomy situation of the book. And some of them were just so cute and so innocent and you just couldn't help but to like them. So now I'm going to kind of better explain this by reading some of my favorite parts of the book. Food. I wanted her to know our food. How my hands missed the feel of dough dusted with flour, my ears missed the snap of apple pancakes in the pan, and my eyes missed the rainbow of fruits and vegetables sealed in jars on the shelves. War had bled color from everything, leaving nothing but a storm of gray. I saw this one as personification as she used the idea of war bleeding color from everything. It's as if war is taking on some sort of personality and taking everything that they loved away from them and taking everything that they thought they knew. I thought that that little excerpt of imagery before also really hit me with emotions just because it made me really feel for Amelia and it made me really feel for the characters and how everything that they loved and cherished before the war had come on had been ripped away from them when the war had came and that they had to run from everything. It honestly made me feel so sad and it really just made me think about all that war was taking away from them. Now I'm going to read my last piece of text. A basket of mossy bread in the center of the table was crawling with brown mice. Flowered china bowls skinned with half-eaten soup sat on a dusty tablecloth, the spoons still in them. They hadn't even been able to finish their dinner. I thought this piece of imagery was both really haunting, and it was the 3rd piece of text in the book that I thought really appealed to emotion and really made you think more about what was being taken away from people at the time of the war. It made you really feel for characters too beyond just the main characters or the secondary characters. As they came to the house where another family had been victim to war and everything that they thought they knew and everything out of their daily life had just been ripped away and taken away from them. I think Ruta did an incredible job at really appealing to one's emotions throughout the entire book. And is really the part that makes it such a beautifully written book. It really makes you think more hardly about the characters and what it would be like to step into their shoes. And it made me really think about what it must have been like for their lives to just completely be turned upside down. I definitely would give this a solid 5-star rating because it was so good and it was so detailed and well thought and she definitely put in so much effort and it all completely succeeded. And the fact that she kept so many events and so many parts of history true to the actual events that happened. It was a truly amazingly written book, and there were so many times where I could not put it down. I just wanted to keep reading. There was so much suspense and so much heartbreak and so much love for this book. I just cannot tell you guys how much I liked it. She also relates this to her other book that I did a review on, Between Shades of Grey, and I think you should go check out that book as well. But if you liked that book and you already read it, then you will probably like this book. You guys should go definitely check it out, and yeah. So that's all I have today for my book review, and I hope you guys liked it.